My dear students, company secretary is a subject where we have already studied basic information about the company or the secretary. So this is video part 2. I request you to watch part 1 video so that the meaning of secretary and informations about the secretary is available there. And as a continuation, we can watch this second part. Here, I would like to discuss some more aspects about the company secretary. Okay. And you have already been introduced with me. That is, I'm Dr. Prajnamathy Halli, who is working in Government First Aid College, Dharwad, Karnataka. And this series of videos are going to teach you about the company's law and also secretarial practice. Here, my intention is to tell you about the appointment of company secretary, how he is going to be appointed. As per Indian Companies Act 1956, it was not compulsory for the companies to appoint a secretary. However, in practice, all companies appoint the secretaries. As per Rule 2, subsection 1 of Companies that is Act, it is obligatory for a company having a paid up capital of not less than rupees 50 lakh to appoint a whole-time secretary. So how he is going to be appointed? As per Rule 2, subsection 1 above, for a company having paid up share capital not less than 50 lakh, it is not obligatory to appoint a whole-time secretary. Further, board of directors of any such companies, only if they are two, neither of them shall be act as a secretary. The act also states that no individual can hold the office of secretary in more than one such companies. So here our interest is how the appointment takes place. First thing is, as you know very well, company can be established with promoters. Who is a promoter? Who thinks of a company, who starts the company, who initiates the company. So he is called as promoter. Promoters, they have to do a lot of work to establish the company. They have to do a lot of documents. They have to prepare a lot of documents. They have to get it registered. They have to collect the capital. So many work is there in as far as the company's formation is concerned. So they want the secretary to do the work now itself. Therefore, they appoint the first secretary of the company, who promoters of the company. They appoint the first secretary, who assists them in formation of the company by attending all preliminary work such as preparation of various documents, statements required for registering for the company, arranging for meetings of the promoters, preparation of minutes. So many works are there. So a secretary undertakes all these works. So they appoint, promoters appoint the first secretary. But he is called as pro tem. That means temporary, because his appointment is not confirmed, because he is just appointed by the promoters. When the documents are being prepared, that is articles of association is prepared, his name will be mentioned there. If the board of directors decide to appoint another person as secretary, then what happens? This pro tem secretary will be cancelled. So after incorporation of the company, the first secretary who is appointed by the promoters cannot sue the company, because directors don't want him to be continued. If they want him to be continued, his appointment should be confirmed in board meetings. Okay. A resolution has to be passed at the board of directors meeting appointing a secretary on certain terms and conditions. So this is the procedure for appointment of a secretary other than the first secretary. As you know very well, first secretary is appointed by the promoters, and if board of directors give the consent for his appointment will be confirmed in board meeting. Otherwise, he will be removed off. And other than the first secretary, there are so many secretaries in the company. How they are getting appointment? That means board of directors, they attend the meeting and they appoint the secretary. Particulars of appointment must be filled in duplicate with the registrar. It should be filed with the registrar within 30 days of the appointment. The person appointed as secretary for functions as secretary in any other company, then he has to give notice. He has to notify the other company within 20 days of his appointment, because he cannot work as secretary in more than one company if he is a whole-time secretary. If he is part-time secretary, he can work more than one company. But if he is for whole-time secretary, full-time secretary, he cannot work more than one company. Any director interested in the appointment of secretary must disclose his interest and must not take part in the discussion of or voting of the resolution if he is anyway related with the secretary. If the secretary is his relative, if secretary is his friend, then he cannot appoint him, because there will be some personal interest. Therefore, he should not attend that meeting. Even though if he is attending, he should not make the voting. If the person appointed as secretary is a director of a company or is a relative of a director, a special resolution has to be passed in general board meeting for such an appointment. Then comes, now, usually, if secretary in a public limited company, if he is not qualified, his appointment will not be taken place. Then whose appointment will not be taken place? That is a director of company. If a person is a director, he cannot be appointed as a secretary. If a person is an auditor, then he cannot be appointed as a secretary. Any other person who is not eligible for entering into contract, that is, if he is not of sound mind, if he is lunatic, if he is insolvent, then he cannot enter into contract. In such a situation, he cannot be appointed as a secretary. What happens if a director gets appointed as secretary? The reasons for disqualifying the person who is already a director is post of secretary deemed to be a post of profit. And the Companies Act 1956 stipulates that no director can hold any place of profit. But by obtaining the consent of company, by assigning a special resolution, director can be appointed as secretary. Should, however, be noted that in case of a director is appointed as a secretary, he cannot continue as director. So choice is left to him. He can continue as a director or he can become a secretary. So automatically, if you think that director is a superior person, so automatically one prefers to be director. But secretary is an employee. He gets a salary. Therefore, if the person wants to become secretary, then he has to resign the post of director. He cannot continue as a director. As regards auditor as a secretary of a company, the Act states no employee of a company should act as an auditor. Auditor is an independent person. Secretary means he is an employee. So an employee cannot become the auditor. As such, we find that a secretary is an employee. Therefore, a person cannot be appointed both as secretary and as an auditor. So if the choice is again left to the person. If he wants to become the auditor, he cannot be appointed as secretary. But if he wants to be appointed as secretary, he has to stop to work as an auditor. Secretary, being the servant of the company, his suspension and dismissal are governed by normal law applicable to the employer and employee. The services of a secretary may be terminated by giving him a notice as per the terms of the service agreement. If an agreement doesn't mention any specific period of notice, reasonable notice must be given. So that is the rule. And the services of the secretary can be terminated without notice. Even without giving the notice, it can be terminated. But when there are some rules. That is, when there are some situations when he makes profit secretly, then he may be dismissed for willful disobedience, misconduct, negligence, fraud, dishonesty, and permanent disability. So this is how a secretary can be appointed, and the rules about his dismissal, when he can be dismissed, when he can be appointed. There are rules and regulations. I hope you have understood the points about it, and I hope you have enjoyed the video also. And as I have already mentioned, it is a series of video. So don't forget to watch my next videos also. Again, I'm going to discuss some more points about the secretary, his rights, duties, liabilities, etc. in my next video. So don't forget to watch it. Okay. And give me the feedback for improvement also.